Yeah, my schedule changed a little bit. I was originally planning to come here early and do some practice, but I ended up going to Castle Stewart and playing the Scottish Open because I wasn't really playing as well as I wanted to in some tournaments, and it was really a great week. It's a wonderful golf course, Castle Stewart, and I felt like I got a lot of good work done. I had a couple of good rounds there that gave me a little bit better direction on where I want my game to go, and so I'm looking forward to this week. Well, putting is always a key. The greens here are beautiful. They're in great shape, and you really can make some putts. They're just they roll very true. If you get the ball on the right line, they'll go in. Putting's always a key, though, in any tournament. Here specifically, off the tee has a greater importance in most weeks, and so there'll be a number of holes I'll be a little bit more conservative off the tee in an effort to ensure getting the ball in play. It's unique, and I think it's pretty cool to have a par 3 opening hole. It's different than many courses that we see. We were talking about it today and couldn't think of really one course where we started on a par 3 other than Westchester in the New York area, where we don't play anymore, but we used to. It is important to shape a lot of shots because you have to hold it up into the wind to get the ball to approach the green at the right angle. Yes, absolutely, shot making is important here. And it is a very big challenge to avoid the bunkers. There's a lot of them, but they're very well placed, and it does still give you an opportunity to strategically avoid them off the tee and have decisions as to which line you want to take and which bunkers you want to try to bring into play and take out of play. I think what was so fun for me about last year was that I was able to make a move in horrible weather, and that's one of the things that has excited me, because historically I've not played well in bad weather, and now I look at it a little bit differently, and I almost welcome it in a sense. But I certainly have more confidence in competing and playing in weather and the different challenges that links golf presents after having had some success last year. It took me a while to be able to understand what it meant to get the ball on the ground, because I was able to hit the ball low, but I would still hit it with spin, and it would stay in the air and kind of hover above the ground rather than getting it on the ground. And it didn't really click until 6-8 years ago. And now when it gets really bad weather, my misses in crosswinds are not as great as they used to be, because it's on the ground out of the wind a lot quicker, and that's made me really enjoy and appreciate the playing links golf and playing in the elements. 16 years ago, nobody thought we would have the same kind of dominance in the game that Jack Nicklaus provided throughout his career, and it was, and then along came Tiger. So I would never rule it out. I mean, it's hard to ever foresee somebody playing at that level, and yet it's been done. It can be done, and I wouldn't rule it out. I don't see anybody in the game today playing at that level that he currently or has played at and is currently starting to play at again, but you just never know. I think that I had to try to calm myself down all the time, constantly heading into majors, because I felt like after having won a PGA Tour event as an amateur, my expectations were to have won a major championship well before I was 34, and yet I hadn't. So I found myself constantly having to slow down my thoughts and try to get control of my thoughts and play the golf course effectively. But it helped me when I started getting in contention a lot more, like I did in '99 and the '01 PGA and some majors thereafter, because the more times you're in contention, the more you understand the process of what happens, what goes wrong, and how to fix it. And it made it easier to compete and contend and to ultimately win after having been in contention that many times. It's important as a player to be able to keep your mind on the task at hand when you're on the golf course and not let it waver. But we're certainly for a couple of years it was difficult to do. But right now, everybody's doing great. I mean, my wife and mom are doing terrific. They're just a really good spot, and my health has been really good, and my any symptoms have been well managed by medication, and I feel like there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to play some of my best golf.